Hey, man. Hey, let me ask you a personal question. How many people here ever woke up one morning and just decided it wasn't one of those days and you're gonna break some shit?
I think that the metal rap thing completely sucks ass. I don't get it, and I don't want to get it, and I don't really mind if I don't get it.
Slip Bizket or whatever.
I love the riffs. I love that guitar player dressing up and looking like an alien. I think that's awesome.
As far as labeling Slipknot a new metal thing, we're mentioned in the same breath as Korn.
Hey fuckers, tune in to Korn After School Special.
No rock star ever needs the help of a porn star, trust me.
Wow, what does the guys with the dreads does?
I'm the DJ, bitch.
For better or worse, Rage Against the Machine seems to have planted the seeds for the genre that sprung up known as nu metal. My apologies.
Yeah!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Disturbing the Priest. I'm your host, Brandon Battick, and we're here with a very special episode of the podcast. Let's start with Cam. Let's go around and introduce the roundtable of new metal scene kids.
I'm fucking Cam O'Neill, aka KC Swizzy. I do the BBC podcast, Beautiful Boycast. Listen, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere. Every Sunday, new episode. You can find Battick on there. These kids soon. Introduce yourself.
Hell yeah. My name's AJ. I'm 1/3 of the sketch comedy group, A Regular Program. That's on YouTube. Definitely check that out before we get canceled.
Fuck, I forgot to mention I was a third. It's two other dudes.
I am Nate Hilli. I have an underground podcast called QTP, Quintessential Townie Podcast. You can catch me all around Worcester. Catch me around, guys.
And Huskies, too. You have
Husky
an open mic.
Guy, if you want to come to an open mic where you might get heckled by a bunch of 50-year-olds, come to the Husky Pub on Sundays at 8 o'clock.
If you support the police.
If you support the police and veterans like Fred Durst, come to the Husky Pub on Sundays.
Yeah, never forget Blue Lives Matter on this one.
Yeah. Blue Lives Matter.
Be on him.
Yeah, well, this is a very special episode, as I said. The topic today is new metal, unfortunately. I am joined by some of the local scene kids. And,
new metal legends.
Yeah.
Purveyors of the topic.
All I listen to is Papa Roach.
So let's honestly start with where the genre comes from. We were discussing it. We got Run DMC and Aerosmith.
Uh-huh.
Because I guess Rick Rubin wanted the two to. He's like, you guys should sing over Walk This. Was it Walk This Way?
Don't pin new metal on Rick Rubin.
I hate to say it. I think he was the one to get the ball rolling.
Trust me, I've watched
and listen, I hate
videos
Rick
this week.
Rubin.
It's Rick Rubin's fault. I've seen 2 or 3 history new metal YouTube episodes this week, and it's definitely him.
All right, if the facts say all roads lead to Rick Rubin.
Some little emo kid on YouTube told me that, so yeah.
That's credible.
Yeah, so he ruined a genre, a Black Sabbath album, and a Metallica album.
Or you can say that he made the future of music.
At least until 2001.
Yeah, man. Who's to say if that shit didn't happen, we wouldn't have had at least modern metal bands Knocked Loose. If there was no new metal, Knocked Loose wouldn't have existed.
Yeah.
You can say they're not new metal, but arf, arf, that's fucking new metal. I don't know. A lot to do with new metal, in my opinion, is just the breakdown. The breakdown makes its song new metal or not.
Yeah, for me, it's just groovy riffs and just almost a rap vocal style.
Yeah.
We don't even need rap. There's Korn. Korn has never rapped.
True, yeah, true.
Korn is a big purveyor of the bounce riff, though. The 7-string guitar, drop tune, bounce riff.
Well, I think of Korn as there's different types of new metal. There's rap new metal. They're jungle new metal, where it's a lot of just sounds instead of it's a lot of
You're not wrong.
That shit, and then they're all dancing. It's very tribal jungle-esque.
Yeah.
That's so awful.
And then there's Halloween new metal, which is just the dudes with masks.
Yeah, which is Slipknot. Are there?
Yeah, they're
Mudvayne, Cold Chamber.
Yeah, Mudvayne.
Even though That's the last time we should talk about Static X on this podcast.
Static X. Static X is all right, man. If you listen, you had to have the dudes that wanted to be in the future but also new metal, and that's like Static X and Linkin Park, which fucking I hate Linkin Park.
Clearly, one of them did it right.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, Static X, obviously. And like you can even throw like they're not new metal, Rob Zombie into the equation of like future new metal.
Yeah.
Where it's like Matrixy new metal.
Yeah, I hate how new metal is just like a bunch of like just middle class anthems. Like especially with like Linkin Park.
Dude,
like just like a middle schooler on their iPod. Or like iPod Nano.
The day that fucking Chester Benningfield died was the worst day of my life because my friends were obsessed with Linkin Park and I had to spend the day with them. So like I had to listen to Linkin Park all day. If anyone's done that, you shouldn't. It's bad.
It'll make you want to kill yourself too.
It's like Linkin Park has like 3 good songs in my opinion. They're like first
I can't even
1.5 albums.
Yeah.
What are like some good Linkin Park songs even?
Faint.
Oh yeah, Faint.
Faint kind of rocks. Breaking the Habit's pretty good if you're you know.
I don't like them enough to know any names of their songs.
For me personally, like all my new metal experience comes from like old YouTube. Like just watching like Connect's roller coaster videos and it's just like Mudvayne behind it or like it's usually like Linkin Park.
If you guys actually, I've been waiting to tell this story. My my very first brush with new metal was the first time my parents had brought the family to Disney World in Florida, and we did all the parks. And you do Universal Studios, and in Universal Studios there's this roller coaster called the Rockin' Roller Coaster, and you can choose a song on that roller coaster. And I didn't choose one in time, so I picked one randomly, and it was "Rollin'" by Limp Bizket.
That's sick, dude.
And it was over.
What a crazy introduction to that song.
Yeah, just like going on a roller coaster, speakers in my ear, like you have no idea what to make of that entire situation. But
I thought that Rock and Roller Coaster was all just like Rolling Stones songs and shit. They have fucking new Limp Bizket on there.
Yeah, they got Limp Bizket on there, dude.
What else?
Yeah, dude, they're up with the times.
At least circa 2005.
They got Machine Gun Kelly now.
Oh god.
Dude, I fucking kill myself. And that's like a roller coaster with multiple people on it. So like, what, one person chooses the MGK song?
No, every seat has speakers like right by your ears, like playing directly into your
I was gonna say if I waited fucking 45 minutes in a line to hear like fucking I'm an emo girl by MGK, I'm killing myself. I'm unbuttoned.
You're being like thrown around. You're like going like 60 miles per hour down a ramp.
You hold the little bar so when they check it, it doesn't come up. You're like, good, I'm as good as dead now.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But all right, so back to like the evolution, you know? Yeah, Anthrax. So then Anthrax was super into like Public Enemy and whatnot. So like we're gonna make like a rap song.
They apparently like tried rapping and stuff too themselves, and that's where like somebody involved with Public Enemy heard that and they're like, "Yo, this sucks, but we like the idea."
Wasn't somebody involved with Anthrax that was like, "Don't do that"?
There must have been. That's why, like, you know, they really killed a lot of their like thrash metal fans.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of even like the guys I know, like just people I've met at concerts, they only think like there's 2 Anthrax albums. They don't count anything past that.
Well, when you really love something, especially like a band like that, like you do tend to ignore. You're just like, nah, that didn't exist. No.
Yeah, but that's what like new metal had to get Frankensteined a little bit to exist, and that's what I think Anthrax kind of did. And then they did eventually. You know, we were just watching Bring the Noise, the music video. We got Flavor Flav on there. Like they had the whole arsenal of
it. You gotta figure it's a new metal, guys. There's only one Anthrax song.
Yeah, well, there's a couple. There's
wait, they made more than just
I'm the Man, which is like the first one they did, and I really hate it. It's really bad because they're like trying to sample like Beastie Boys.
Oh hell yeah!
But it's like it really sucks. And like I love License to Ill. Like that's one of my favorite records. And like you can all like Beastie Boys. You can also, you know, they're rapping over like riffs.
Sabotage is kind of a new metal song.
A little bit. I feel like someone listening might
Someone's gonna be mad at me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be really mad. But like, also, guess what? Rage Against the Machine is a new metal band too. So like,
Totally,
there's good new metal. It exists. Like, you can't just like ward off the whole genre.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Rage Against the Machine, everyone likes.
Yeah, I love Rage
Everyone
too.
does like them, yeah.
They're one of the better ones. I think they're in the top 3.
A lot of people say they're not because like, no reason. Like, they just don't want it to be. So they're like, nah, they're too like with the against the system or whatever. And it's like, who's to say the new metal isn't all like that?
Like Korn likes the Police.
Yeah. System of a Down is at Blue Lives Matter rally.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Getting with it. It's like, nah.
That is a super Limp Bizket thing to do, is to go to a Blue Lives Matter.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Like, you know that Fred Durst, like, he has property that needs to be protected. Like,
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Who's gonna?
What is Fred Durst like? What is his political compass? Do you know? Is he
what it is.
super? Is
I mean,
I'm afraid. I know what it is, but I want to confirm.
I showed you that Kid Rock song. There's a new Kid Rock song where it's like,
oh yeah,
all
you
his
did
political
show me that.
opinions, and it's just like the chorus to it is like, like "Let's go, Brandon," with like a bunch of just like, just support the police, all that shit, and it's like,
Was it
there's really a
Machine Gun
line
Kelly on that too?
No, that was
that
their,
a different one?
They had a new metal song together that I also showed you at the same time. But like,
That's awful.
There's really like a line in the song where it's like, I don't see color, no shit. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Breaking down walls, dude.
Oh my god.
But it's like, a lot of people will say grunge killed hair metal.
Mm-hmm.
I say new metal killed grunge.
Absolutely.
New metal adopted grunge.
You think so? I think it.
I think
killed.
in no way did grunge adopt hair metal besides like, no, nothing.
Well, I believe that grunge was almost just because like hair metal was just such a commercial MTV, very dressed up thing, where grunge was the complete opposite. And it was also like the mainstream kind of hated it at first, so like a lot of people kind of went to it, especially like kids.
The reason I say new metal adopted grunge is like just vocally they adopted grunge. Like what's that song where it's like, I am the only one.
Is that a Creed song? You saying Creed's new metal?
No,
like
Creed is
any
not
of
new
them.
metal. Creed is Christian
several.
rock grunge, but
That could be any grunge band.
Yeah. No,
I'm trying to think of what song this is.
I'll definitely agree with you with that new metal borrows from grunge. I'm just saying new metal like took over grunge, like killed the genre.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like all their fans for sure.
Yeah.
Like to the point you made too about like MTV, because like obviously like hair metal's super big on MTV, then grunge, Nirvana ran that shit. But yeah, like once Korn came out and all the bands started like following suit with that, like they were huge on like the circuit for like getting promoted. Like they were massive bands.
Yeah, and the thing is like people naturally go to anything that's like censored or like underground.
Yeah.
And the thing is MTV had like a racial bias. It was very whitewashed.
For sure.
And you look at nu metal where, it's inspired from like a lot of rap. We're watching Anthrax, we have Flavor Flav on.
Anything sort of give it that.
Dr. Dre on one of the music for like a Limp Bizket
the
music video.
the Break Stuff music video has like all the rappers like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. So they were put in that pool of artists. So that's why a lot of people, I guess, flock to them.
It's probably why a lot of rappers flock to nu metal too. Like, there's a huge involvement with like the hip hop community and the early nu metal community, especially in the late '90s.
Yeah.
Like I was telling Nate that like Limp Bizket, after Hot Dog Flavored Water came out, they came out with a remix album that had like the biggest names in rap on it doing the remixes. Platinum selling rap artists.
Well, I mean, nu metal did a lot like racially as well. I mean, it made the white man like rap music.
Well, it's for poor white people. That's where new metal came.
And then you were like able after that to like, I guess like be into rap music where you probably weren't before. You were just some grunge guy that like, like borderline hidden racism. Fred Durst is all right, and then you're like, like, fucking, I guess I can listen to some Snoop.
like the not to get ahead, but like all the style of every new metal person too, like fucking
Jinko jeans.
Oh,
and like grills, like fucking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
Jonathan Davis with like grills made of gold and some of the music
The
videos.
Adidas sweatsuits and stuff
Fred
like that.
Durst dressed like he was in NWA. He just had
Yeah,
baggy
he
jeans,
did.
a white shirt, like a super long white tee, and a backwards hat. He dressed like a rapper.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of was.
All right, should we just talk about it?
We got to hit
Limp
Rage Against
Bizkit.
the Machine
Limp
first,
Bizkit?
I feel like, dude.
All right, do we have to?
I
so
feel like
Rage
Against the Machine is the connective tissue from like funk metal and like all like the rap metal stuff and new metal, because like I don't think that they think they're new metal, but they're like the final catalyst with their first album in '92.
Yeah.
And then like Korn's self-titled was in '94.
Yeah.
Like that, they were like the final piece, I think, that really like fucking set up the entire new metal craze.
And Limp Bizkit worshipped Rage too.
I feel like Rage was just trying to be more hardcore punk, but it was before new metal was a thing. So once new metal popped off, you look at Rage Against the Machine, you're like, well, this kind of sounds the same. They have the same cadence where it's like, you compare like Limp Bizkit, like their high pitched shit to Rage Against the Machine. It's the same fucking cadence. So they're like, yeah, like that shit.
No, a lot, yeah. And the thing with Rage Against the Machine, it's that like you said, it almost was like they were going for like the hardcore like DC era punk, where they were like super anti-establishment, but the musicianship was too good for them to be punk almost, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tom Morello was never in a million years going to hit a 3-chord progression. He was going to do the wild shit he did on Bulls on Parade.
Yeah,
you know, it was never meant for that. So
I think the rap element in Rage is also like, you know, rap was very political.
Yeah.
Rap was like punk within itself.
For sure.
So I think that's where Tom got that from.
It was more like conscious rap then.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It was able to be more political and less, you know, just like arrogant rap music.
Where new metal comes from like Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
And like and not like NWA or like Body Count.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But yeah, like Limp Bizkit worshipped Rage, and like they were like, I think I saw like a video where they covered
Bulls on
Parade.
yeah, they covered Bull, and they literally said like, to the band that started it all.
Well, I mean, fucking Fred Durst like had really weird music taste. Like one of Limp Bizkit's biggest songs is a cover of a George Michael song.
yeah,
Faith?
Behind Blue Eyes. Oh no, yeah, Faith too. I forgot
Faith.
all about Faith.
You gotta have faith, that shit. But that was like a fucking little fruity George Michael song that Fred Durst loved for some reason.
George Michaels. But it's funny because I think there was an interview with, I believe, the bassist of Rage, and he said, "We're really sorry for Limp Bizkit."
They were not fans. The
They
fanship did not go
hated
both
Limp
ways.
Bizkit.
I'm just gonna start off with Limp Bizkit fucking rules.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying.
I'm a Limp Bizkit guy. I'm not gonna sit here and say
I can't trash them. They're too good, bro.
People that don't like them, it's because they don't know. They didn't see the video of them on top of the World Trade Center like months before it got blown the fuck up. With a
Exactly.
helicopter flying around them.
They had to delay that video because of that. By the way.
Really?
Did they? Is that a real thing?
That video didn't come out with the album, even though it was a single, because all that stuff had happened.
It was
what
that.
stuff?
We were that close to
9/11.
losing Limp
Oh,
Bizkit, guys.
Imagine if it happened while Limp Bizkit was on the World Trade
Oh
Center.
my god, that
How
video
crazy
would be
that
the
would have been.
highest viewed video on YouTube.
A fucking
Well,
plane
it
flying.
wouldn't have come out.
Well,
Obviously, if
glass half empty kind
that'd be the craziest end to a band's career.
I guarantee you they wouldn't have tried as hard to save
They
them.
played
Dude,
on
they should
top
get
of
them
a
out first,
skyscraper and a
like-
plane went into the skyscraper.
Fuck the plane that killed Buddy Holly and them. Limp Bizkit on top of the World Trade Center.
Limp Bizkit going down with 9/11.
Which,
That's
in all honesty, we wouldn't have invaded the Middle East if they had gotten Limp Bizkit with that.
Honestly, that would have been
You
the
think
perfect
so?
way for
It would have
Limp
been looked
Bizkit
at
to
as
go out.
heroics.
that would have been that would have been the
That would've been perfect.
craziest way for
This
a
is
band
what
to
Limp
ever go
Bizkit
out.
dropped off like a year after that.
Yeah.
Like
Entire show.
that would have been the perfect way for Limp Bizkit to go out. They're performing on top of the World Trade Center, and 9/11 happens.
I mean, I think they dropped off when Wes Borland left because I mean, I think the one thing that can draw any person who isn't like into Limp Bizkit or new metal as a whole is like just the awesome guitar playing from him and like the apt musicianship of the other members. But like once he left, as me and Nate were talking about, like they really lost identity and they came out with a string of really bad for them by their standards.
How many albums do they have?
They probably have like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
They took a huge break because they people don't remember that they were coming out with albums up until around like the 2010s. They came out with an album called Gold Cobra.
Oh no, I know the.
I know that one.
They were really trying to chase what they had in '99 with that. Like it was a total like reverse step for them. But they came out with an album last year called Still Sucks, which is awesome.
Right.
And
I
like
think I've heard some shit.
That album, I gotta, it's personally my favorite Limp Bizket album. Right?
Well, there was in the lull of new metal, there was a song with Limp Bizket and Lil Wayne, and it fucking ruled.
Because they were signed to Cash Money. Like Limp Bizket was signed to a rap label.
Yeah. Cash Money Music, millionaires.
Wow. Huh.
Lazy. Yeah.
That's crazy. Our discussion on Limp Bizket started with your podcast. Because I think that's when
I think
we started talking about it. Because I brought up how much I hated.
No, it started when I met you at Rick's, and you had a
whatever.
joke about how Limp Bizkit sucked, and I held that dear to my heart until you came on my podcast, and I was like, Limp Bizkit actually doesn't suck?
Absolutely not.
Dude, I don't think there's a worse album cover and name than...
Are you about to say hot dog flavored water?
Hot dog flavored
that
water.
That album cover rules, and the name is awesome.
Chocolate starfish. Did I get that right?
Yeah. You talking about asshole and vaginal excretion.
It might as well. Like, the thing is, like, you know, there's this band Dying Fetus, and they have some, like, brutal, like, album names and, like, song names. But, like, that's very fitting.
It's part of your image.
And it's part of the image, you know? But, like...
Is hot dog flavored water not part of the image of white trash? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Incredibly fair point.
It's like, dude, are you hating on my culture right now?
Literally, dude.
Don't insult my culture.
I stand before you with a fucking pair of baggy ass jeans, a chain wallet, and a hockey jersey, and you disrespect me like that?
Dude, I drank some before this podcast.
You mean to tell me you waste the hot dog water? You don't throw. What are you, rich?
Dude, you don't eat the starfish before?
Yeah.
You got a problem with Nookie, man? You got a problem with Nookie.
That's right.
And it's so bad because like somehow the art is worse than the name.
I like that.
And it's on the cover. It's for some reason it's stretched out. Like they didn't even get the...
Isn't it a bunch of like goblins and shit?
Yeah, and they're like holding starfish and there's like hot dogs.
Yeah, dude. That rules.
Yeah, Brandon.
Dude, it's up there with Dark Side.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, that was
fuck a little rainbow.
I don't know who should be more insulted, Dark Side or Limp Bizkit by that comment.
Dude, but I don't. So apparently, which I also just learned, he was a tattoo artist, and he made that.
That makes me so happy.
So did he make all the? Do you know if he made?
He made
all
the
art?
cover for Significant Other. He made the cover for Chocolate Starfish, Gold Cobra, and their most recent album. I don't know about the other.
Sorry, by the way, I just got to interrupt. Follow me on Instagram at InkByFerb if you want tattoos. I forgot to plug that I'm a tattoo artist.
We do have a tattoo artist.
Yeah,
also
I do
on the
tattoos.
podcast,
Please. I'll fucking starve to death if you don't.
So as an artist, a tattoo artist, what is your opinion on his work?
It rules. Hold on. Can we get some pictures of his tattoos?
Would you ever get like
a tattoo?
The little goblins?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well,
if I had room on this arm, I would.
He did do
like on your neck or something.
Jonathan Davis's HIV tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so tell that story. You told that to me.
So the way Limp Bizkit goes, the Limp Bizkit iceberg, the very tip of it starts with Jonathan Davis, I guess, right before the Family Values tour, where I guess they debuted almost. Not really, but kind of. He went to go get a tattoo at a shop in Florida, and his artist was Jonathan Davis. And I guess through conversation found out they were a band, and yeah. The rest is history.
And now we're here.
Yeah, we're busy blaming Rage Against the Machine when we should be blaming Korn.
What?
Korn, that's really Korn is like the first real fucking new metal band.
Korn's amazing.
They're almost like the Black Sabbath of new metal.
For real.
Yeah.
And like between them and like Korn and Ross Robinson, that's like who created new metal.
Yeah.
Like
Ross Robinson is not to be taken lightly in the ethos of new metal either.
No, and I don't think everybody knows who he is, but he literally like produced Korn self-titled, Slipknot self-titled, Iowa by Slipknot.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking Life is Peachy by Korn. The Deftones first album.
He did Untouchables by Korn too. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure there remains to be fought. But
do you want to get into Deftones? Because that's a sleeper, amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's actually a good one.
Nate Hilli doesn't like him. I'm just gonna say that on the podcast. Nate.
Look, I like some songs. I just haven't dove into. They have like 20 albums, don't they? Or like 10. Like
They have a fair bit of albums.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't even know where to look to find good songs.
Just start with their top picks.
Yeah, man.
I do like the top.
You can just
Man, you
look
just
up
gotta work your way up.
essentials.
Dude, I know.
Listen to all of Adrenaline and tell me that isn't a fantastic new metal.
I do need to listen to Adrenaline, especially knowing that Ross Robinson's name is attached to it. I know there's gonna be some punchy shit.
Oh, dude.
Fucking probably a very high pitched snare drum, maybe.
Yeah, dude. Because fun fact about the Deftones, their guitarists can't play. So like, I'm serious. So like the way he like pitched up the bass over the guitar, because if you look at Deftones tabs, like it's all remarkably easy, although fast moving power chords. You know, so like the way that had to like play with the other instruments is like really it's a feat of production.
You guys ever heard the 10-minute version of Changes?
Of course.
Or
I didn't know there was a 10-minute version.
So you know the part where it goes,
yeah.
That's just that for 5 minutes straight, and then it goes back to the song.
God.
Well, it's great.
Is it supposed to be like a meme or?
It's a meme, but like I don't mind it.
That's true, man. You know what's crazy too is we got to bring up the movie Queen of the Damned.
I don't know what this is.
Like that the soundtrack album to that movie is essentially a 90s new metal greatest hits album.
For real.
Yeah, it's all Deftones, all Korn, all like.
I don't think I've ever heard of this movie.
Oh well, if you want to laugh, you can watch the movie because it is a plainly terrible movie. But like, just like look at the soundtrack if you like.
I've heard the soundtrack, never seen the movie.
Yeah,
But,
the
like, I heard
soundtrack
the
is
sound.
a meme in and of itself. Yeah, plays like a greatest hits tape.
Dude, that and like the Raven too. Wasn't like the Raven like all like 90s?
Are you talking about the Crow?
The Crow.
Yeah, no, the Crow was super about that too. Like they literally were just like, what's like punchy weird metal out right now? Let's put that on our soundtrack. But no, the Crow's another excellent example.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. People don't respect new metal nowadays because they don't understand how fucking massive it was. Like the Korn dudes were on cribs. They went from being like lower class white dudes to millionaires in like fucking Puma tracksuits overnight. It's like insane.
Well, just now there's been a boom of appreciation for new metal because of that Woodstock '99 documentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because people see just how fucking crazy it was, and then they go back after watching that to listen to some of it, and they're like, "This isn't that bad."
New metal fashion's also coming back like a wrecking ball.
Which
is
like
everybody
so
wears
crazy.
Jinkos. It's huge in skateboarding. Like that's what's bringing back the new metal fashion. Is like kids go vintage shopping and they get big ass like size 50 pants,
Jinko jeans,
and then fucking
button down
like
short sleeve button down shirts with like flames on it.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh man.
Guy Fieri, pretty new metal dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
totally.
Yeah.
When you think about it, spiked ass blonde tips, dude.
Yeah,
that's a new metal dude.
You know,
flame shirt too.
Bi-color beard.
I was talking to my buddy who just got out of the Marines the other day, and he was saying that apparently Guy Fieri is regulation. Like you can go into the military looking exactly like Guy Fieri, and you don't have to cut your hair.
Are you serious?
No, you don't. Spike tips are reg. Frosted, man.
Oh man.
Get iced in Afghanistan by a dude with frosted tips.
That's rough.
If you guys look at the first drummer for Korn before they had to hire a new one, I can't remember his name, but he looks like a Guy Fieri prototype.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Guy Fieri's just a new metal prototype. Like,
He really
there's
is.
no way before, like, little Guy Fieri as a kid before new metal came around was dressing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it confirmed like he's a fan?
Yeah, I saw a
He
video
must
of him
be.
the other day at a Rage Against the Machine.
All right,
concert,
well there you go.
And he was like vibing.
Yeah, there's no way he
He was
doesn't
in his
listen to
element.
it. Yeah, he probably has a whole playlist. No way he doesn't listen to Limp Bizket. Also, talk about the worst band name.
Limp
ever.
Bizkit?
Limp Bizket.
Everything about Limp Bizkit
There's
sucks
worse.
so bad, but that's
There's
why it's
like
like
what?
awesome.
Static X is a pretty terrible name.
Static X is that. Well, Korn.
Mudvayne, they're all bad
Korn,
names.
yeah, like
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, well, yeah. I guess that is a theme.
Do you guys
like,
want to know
new
the
metal.
story of why it's named Korn? Because I know that too.
What?
Jonathan Davis was at a circus, and two of his gay friends were going down on each other, like blowing each other. One of them,
At the circus in public.
No, yeah. No,
So
this is
how
you
does
can look
this
this
work
up.
to Korn?
And one of them farted and blew a plate of loose corn, I suppose,
Nice.
all over Jonathan Davis. And then again, the rest is history.
Dude, can we do
Now,
a deep
what is
dive
the
into
point of the
Jonathan
backwards
Davis?
R?
Yeah.
Like, because this is where like new metal comes from. I was
Yeah.
looking this shit up last night. Like literally
cord out of your ass.
that and like so there was like the band LAPD, kind
Yeah.
of shitty funk or metal band, not even that shitty. And then there was Jonathan Davis's personal band, like Sex Art, one word.
Yeah.
And they were like a shitty-ish New Vision band.
Mm-hmm.
Then he auditioned for the new version of LAPD they called
And then they
Creep.
called it, yeah.
And then the butthole blowing chunk story,
Yeah.
they named it Korn.
Which is so true, by the way, guys. I really implore anybody listening to look.
Is that actually
I
true?
swear, I
That
do. My
rules.
hand to God, I swear to God, it's true.
That's so crazy.
I only know this because I was a super huge Korn kid.
That's such a fitting like birth of like
of
the
all this
band.
weird stuff, all the circus imagery you see in all like their album art and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The songs.
Now, is Slipknot later, or is that
Little bit
kind
later.
of
Slipknot's 99, right? Is that when their debut
yeah,
came out?
99, I believe.
Because Stone Sour
Wait,
existed
really?
before Slipknot, but I don't think they got signed or put out any
Hold on,
music.
Slipknot was that late?
I believe so. Let me see.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought Slipknot was like early '90s, maybe late '80s.
No, their first one was 99. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I think the first was 99.
Yeah.
But like they're the success story of them, and Linkin Park are like the surviving new metal bands for sure.
I respect
Yeah.
Slipknot for surviving and grow. Like they didn't change their sound that much. Linkin Park is a bunch of pussies that like got a little bit of fame, and then once new metal went away, they're like, we're not new metal, we're fucking radio pop, fucking whatever the fuck with a little bit of sadness.
That is true.
Yeah.
But the thing about Slipknot too is that they didn't change their sound, but people stopped calling them new metal. Is the other thing.
Yeah.
New metal was almost like a time period less than a style of
It was
music.
an era.
Like it seemed like all new metal bands ended around the same fucking time, and a lot of them continued and were just still bands, but they're respected as like metal bands.
Well, have like Slipknot like changed their sound at all?
No.
No, I would say absolutely not. Other than All Hope Is Gone, where they really leaned into like, heavier guitars, more traditional sounding metal, which the fans did not like. As far as I'm
Iowa
concerned.
too. Like Iowa was heavy as fuck.
Iowa
Apparently-
was heavy. Iowa wasn't really a new metal.
It was like
album.
straight up metal.
Yeah, it was
like-
definitely like straight up metal as far as it goes.
Can I get political?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go for it.
If we didn't have bullying, new metal would have never been a thing.
That is
Yeah.
so true.
If there was
Yeah.
like no abuse, because literally, I was making this theory yesterday. Like when those two bands combined, like Sex Art and Creep, like the reason that it got so dark and wasn't just like a funk metal, like kind of fasty, kind of like grunge influenced band,
Yeah.
was because Jonathan Davis was a completely fucked up person,
Yeah.
like a sexual deviant because he got like abused by his stepmother. A woman.
Yeah. The hot
And-
tea thing, I know you read that probably. If you did
Right, like
yeah.
she would literally be like spiking it. And let's be
Yeah.
real, I'm alleging right now, I think that she probably molested him.
Yeah.
Because he had
I think
fantasies
so.
about killing and having sex with her. Or having sex and then killing her.
Yeah.
Something like
Hey
that.
man, maybe he was just a chill dude.
Right. Maybe he was just a boy being a
Maybe he just
boy.
likes to hang. I don't know.
Just a young man growing up.
What's the hot tea story?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Nate. I'll let you take it away. I know you're.
You could probably add more to it, but apparently his stepmother, well, she was abusing him because that happens. She would give him tea, and she would like put like hot sauce and all this.
Was it
weird-
Thai oil or
It was
Thai
like
hot
Thai
oil
hot
or something?
oil,
Like massage oil.
Right.
Yeah.
Like shit that would be pretty gross and pretty bad for you. And then apparently that influenced him to become like a mortician or like an embalming assistant.
Yeah.
So he was a cop for a little bit, Blue Lives Matter.
Oh my god, he was a cop.
He worked with the police department for a good period.
Yeah, but which is pretty metal though, because he was working with dead people.
Right. He was literally,
Yeah,
like cutting
yeah.
open. He was talking about like dead babies and shit.
Probably
like,
fucked up bodies and stuff.
Right. He probably,
I wouldn't put it past
just
him.
a dude.
Yeah,
Just
chill.
Just chill dude.
Yeah. I can't believe like what it took for new metal to like be born.
Yeah.
You know, like that origin.
Took Flavor Flav. That's what it took.
Yeah.
It did. Holy shit! It took Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
Some Flavor Flavs
Crazy.
in a really abused white dude with a bunch of piercings.
Yeah.
And then you get probably the best
Aerosmith.
genre of music ever.
In a blender, Aerosmith, Rick Rubin, Spiked Tea apparently.
Well, I mean, new metal is one of those things where it's like cool how fast it took off.
Yeah.
It was like overnight almost.
Yeah.
What was with that first Korn album, dude? Like with that first Korn album, once that started getting like big, and they like used the internet too. Apparently, they're like one of the first bands to really fully get on the internet,
which was super hard because MySpace didn't even exist. So like even how to use the internet was still like untreaded territory.
Right. You had to go like corn.com or something like that.
Probably. I don't know.
Whatever. Like.
I mean, they were probably the smartest at like directing it towards the right audience. Where like they just went for like skaters and fucking like tattooed people and delinquents. That's about it. Like, I mean, especially with like the skate fashion that they all had, like they were just like directing that towards skateboarders. And then like once Tony Hawk put System of a Down and Korn and fucking I think a couple of different other new metal bands into Pro Skater 1 or 2. Like
it was 2. Pro Skater 1. A true Pro Skater 1 fan would have you hung, drawn, and quartered.
Yeah,
for
it
saying
was 2. Yes, Pro Skater 1 was more like punk and fucking Ring of Fire. And
like Dead
ska.
Kennedys and shit.
Yeah, but Pro Skater 2 had System of a Down and like a couple like bands like that where it like really directed towards the skate culture.
Yeah.
And then like I mean Fred Durst was dressing in like DCs and stuff, and they're like finally somebody that like looks like us is on TV.
Yeah, I think with nu metal why it took off so fast is because they knew their fan base right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like they were already in that group.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
they were
because
already
they just
in
listen
that
to like
clique.
hardcore punk and rap music and like old rap music shit like skateboarders do. I mean, I'm pretty sure Limp Bizket, you can find clips of him skating. I think it's a thing, or not Limp Bizket, Fred Durst.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I think he skateboarded and stuff, and like a couple of those other bands. So
Well,
they
even
knew.
in the music videos we were watching, like it's just him like pointing to people doing like tricks and whatnot. So like he obviously was like propping up skating and whatnot.
He was just kind of showing off the things that he likes.
Yeah.
That's all it really was. It's just like, it's rap music, metal, and skateboarding.
And girls, too.
Tattoos,
And
fat chicks.
And to the point of like, like they know that stuff and they were like disenfranchised, like lower class, just like white dudes who were just thrashing out. And you can tell like when we were watching the Rollin' music video, like we were all laughing because all the girls are dressed up like him.
Yeah.
Which is objectively funny, but it shows that like they had no idea like what to do or like how to make it like more legit or like how to like use the platform that they had because they were white trash. Like they don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
It's white
White
culture.
trash dude from the South getting like millions of dollars, and they're like, do whatever you want.
Yeah. Make a video for your lead single. Also, it's #1 on Billboard Go. Like,
Well, Limp Bizket almost made like the format for like punk music videos. Like if you watch like a Blink-182 music video compared to a Limp Bizket music
Always
video,
on
it's
top
the
of a
same thing.
building.
Or like
Yeah.
some 41 music videos are every new metal video. Like we're in the fucking pool, like rapping at the gas station and shit.
Yeah.
Do you think pop punk is connected at all?
Yeah.
To new metal?
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
how much? Because there definitely is a connection there. It's
stylistically, and I'm talking like purely aesthetically, before we even get into music, for sure. Like early Blink-182 with, again, like there's the single for Not Now. The cover art for Not Now, the Blink-182 single, is literally Tom DeLonge in a backwards New York hat, white t-shirt, and baggy dickies. Like it's...
Well, I mean, like, if you, like, definitely, like, Good Charlotte, Sum 41, like, early Blink-182, that is connected to new metal. But, like, other pop punk bands, it's just connected to them. Which I guess in a way is connected to new metal, but it's like, that's kind of where I think it stopped. It was like, Good Charlotte was definitely like, into new metal. But like, they didn't do it, they just went with the punk route.
Yeah. I also want to comment before I forget on like Fred Durst like vocals.
They're amazing.
They're great.
What's so amazing about them?
Tell me he's not a good singer.
He literally
Faith.
sounds like all the new metal fans, just like some kid going through puberty, or he
Well,
almost
yelling,
has
But
like there's like almost like cracking in his voice.
Yeah,
like it sounds like he's not even like.
You have to respect his effort though, because on every Limp Bizket album, for sure you can find the hard thrashy break stuff tracks. There's always those 2 or 3 like soft acoustic songs. They exist on every Limp Bizket album.
Behind Blue Eyes.
Yeah, true.
Like even the ones that aren't the covers though, Nate. Like you'll see them.
So we're good.
Like he can sing, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But it's like some of his like vocal
He can't yell, that's
styles
for sure.
are just like
He's definitely
so
not classically
weird.
trained.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But like to cover like the Who and stuff is like crazy.
Yeah,
Really
it is.
crazy.
It's brave. It's brave for new metal because like you're like you said, like their audiences like skater kids, disenfranchised white trash, and like how many of them know the Who?
Yeah,
seriously, like that's probably their first brush. It's like a lot of people.
I feel like some of them do because like again, it's a lot of like '90s kids.
Yeah.
They grew up with their dads who like were probably just like classic.
Which that
rock
was
heads.
dad rock back then.
Yeah, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
Because
new metal gave rise to the newest version of dad rock being butt rock.
Yeah,
that wouldn't exist without new metal. Like,
yeah,
it's true.
Well, I mean, we're at the point where pop punk is becoming dad rock.
That is true.
Yeah,
30-year-old dudes are listening to Blink-182 and their dads.
Right.
Yeah.
Connection to like pop punk and punk too, and why Limp Bizket and Fred Durst vocals are good. I think that people like identify with the singer that they're like, I feel like I'm probably that good at singing as well.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I could probably do that.
No, like that's real because I have a thing where like I like a lot of bands that have shitty ass vocals. Like,
me too.
I mean, especially because like I'm like fucking 20, so like I grew up with like the Front Bottoms in modern baseball, and that's the worst vocals you can get. Which means
objectively great music though.
Phenomenal music, but like it's terrible fucking singing.
Right.
And like half the bands they don't know how to fucking play. Like Front Bottoms, it's bad singing, and the drummer does not know how to play the drums. And that's half the fucking band. But like it's just like, I mean, that's why I like bad music, I feel, which relates to new metal. Or like if you like Bob Dylan, you probably like Limp Bizkit.
That's a quote. That is
if you like Bob Dylan, you probably
anything's gonna get quoted on this episode.
If you could like smile while listening to a shitty harmonica and like the worst singing ever, you could get down with some bad turntables and yelling.
Actually, well, I mean, you say bad turntables. DJ Lethal from House of Pain was their DJ is still their DJ.
It's not that it's bad.
Really?
It's just every breakdown has like a. Like I'm thinking of specifically Faith, like you gotta have faith with the That's awesome. Like it's a lot of it would just be heavy bass with fucking
man.
Which I mean, oddly, if you want to go full music theory, that somehow connects to Sublime.
And also, I mean, you can even I guess Slipknot has Limp Bizkit to thank for the turntable idea too.
True.
They were definitely doing it first.
Oh yeah, true.
Wow.
Is that a direct connection though? Do you think?
No, I don't think it's a direct connection. I don't think the sounds are even inspired by each other. I just think the fact that like Limp Bizkit being the massive sensation it was with the advent of a turntable guy in your rock band, there probably were people before them that did that, but I mean, they were definitely.
It is like a part of the genre, honestly.
Was ska and new metal at the same time?
It was,
right?
Yeah.
They're just polar opposites with one combination of turntables.
Yeah. And I mean, and trumpets.
Trumpets.
Yeah. Never forget the trumpets to talk about ska, dude. Real Big Fish will have you on the fucking dude.
So what do you think's like the best new metal band? Because I'd say System of a Down.
System of a Down is like
it's great.
That's like
if we're talking
I would point Toxicity as like the greatest.
If we're talking objective best, it has to be System of a Down.
Toxicity is great, but like, I mean, there's like, all right. So when it comes to System of a Down, I only think of one album, and it's the one where it's the Hollywood symbol and a System of a Down.
Yeah, Toxicity.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm thinking all the way around, I'd say Korn is the best new metal band.
Korn is my favorite.
I can see that.
New metal is so tough because it's like which one's the most objectively good and which one do I like the best?
It's really hard to compare those two bands also.
I mean, like, objectively good and my favorite are very different.
Yeah,
like, I'd say Limp Bizkit's my favorite new metal band.
That's what I'm saying.
How it is.
Limp Bizket is like the favorite, but probably not the best. Sorry. But System of a Down, objectively the best, and then in between those is Korn. Because I feel like they're fucking nasty.
Are we counting Rage at all?
Yeah, we got Rage.
Or we're counting Rage. Rage Against the Machine is the best new
I'd say
metal
it'd be Rage then.
But
But it's like, I feel like...
Or
like,
Curveball,
part of me feels
Kid
like
Rock.
that doesn't count.
Kid fucking Rock.
Kid Rock.
No, but Brandon, you bring up a pretty interesting point. If you are considering Rage Against the Machine, what is the argument then, right? What is the album from Rage Against the Machine that has the kid on it, the yellow one, the one with Bulls on Parade? What is that album called?
Evil Empire.
Evil Empire. It's not an argument of the bands because both bands are great. I think it's an argument between Toxicity and Evil Empire. You know,
Evil Empire wins.
Yeah. I accept that, but
I want to accept
Rage
that.
Against the Machine's so fucking good. Are we talking about the album that has like Bulls on Parade?
Bulls on Parade. It has Down Rodeo, which is my favorite.
Is that the one?
Rage song.
What's Pocket Full Shit? I know that's not the name of the song.
That's Bulls on Parade.
That's the same song.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm trying to think of more Rage songs that would be.
Killing in the Name of, but that's not on Evil Empire.
Yeah, that song. What's the one with the guy burning? That's probably
Battle for Los Angeles.
That's definitely the best like new metal cover art, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think like any.
It's got the best of both worlds. You got like the hip hopness with the graffiti.
Yeah.
Well, no, hold on. If we're talking best new metal album art, what's the Limp Bizket album that has like the graffiti dude on it? That has Nikki on it.
Significant Other.
Significant Other.
Oh, is that the one with break stuff?
That's his inner tattoo artist coming out.
It's so
Is that the break stuff one?
Yeah, dude. It's got like the dude. And he's like
going like that or something.
And it has the red snapback on and shit with all the graffiti in the back.
That's easily the best Limp Bizkit cover art.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good Limp Bizkit cover.
You should check out Still Sucks.
Chocolate Starfish is some.
Is that just? Does it just say "Still Sucks" on it?
It says "Still Sucks," but it's like them sitting like. So Fred Durst drew it, and he drew the band, and what he did with the band was super interesting because he did him in his current form, which, like I said, completely reinvented. Handlebar mustache, dad vibes, as the song goes, and then Wes Borland in whatever the flavor of the week is that he's in, and then like it's cool because they're sort of embracing the age of themselves. You know?
Yeah.
And then, like, it's them sitting on the floor in, like, a full line and, like, a fake mom with her head cut off in frame. Like, vacuuming, you know? With some shit in the window. Like, it's you know.
Yeah, well, I really like that they're, like, actually embracing their age.
I reckon
so many
if
bands need to
anyone
do
here
that.
pulls anything away from this, please go listen to Still Sucks. Even if you don't like it, like, it's cool to hear what they're, like, trying out.
I do respect that,
Yeah.
though. You know?
Yeah.
I do have a little more respect for
You got to give credit for effort. I'm always a fan of giving credit for effort.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like Toxicity is, I think, a masterpiece. Like front.
Oh, of course.
That's like one.
It's so good.
Exactly. That's like one of those albums where like every song is a hit. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, like it almost like it was like one upping.
Yeah. Rick Rubin produced, by the way, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
See, if we're talking album, System of a Down might be the best one with Toxicity, but like the rest of their shit isn't that great.
That is true. If you listen to like, especially Hypnotize and Mesmerize, a lot of skips. For short albums, too.
Yeah.
True.
They didn't really have a long lifespan, System of a Down.
I think they're coming back. A lot of new metals are coming. A lot of new metal bands.
What was the Korn album with Freak on a Leash on it?
Follow the Leader.
That might be another unskippable.
One of my favorite albums. One of the most nostalgic albums.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It has I Got That Life on
Got
it.
the Life.
Got That
I like
Life.
Got the Life better than what's the fucking one? The massive hit. Their obviously biggest song. I can't.
Freak on a
Freak
Leash.
on a Leash. Yeah, I love Got the Life way more than Freak on a Leash. Which the video for that again, super Limp Bizkit, super hip hop, super like.
That's a very like iconic album. Even like the cover too.
The cover art. I think that's the best new metal cover art.
Yeah,
Is,
you can argue.
Follow the
that.
Leader. That was a super awesome design for that.
Yeah,
Korn's
it's the
got some
one with
good
the.
ones.
It's got like the staircase on it, right?
No, it's
Like
the kid who's playing hopscotch towards a ledge, allegedly going to like,
It's like a
fall
cliff.
off. Yeah, and then a horde of kids behind them. And I had the CD. If you had the CD on the back, the picture continued to like this whole like mural, which is so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, Korn has some cool and like the doll too. I forget what.
Yeah.
What record is that?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
the
I'm
name,
trying
but
to-
it's got like "Falling Away from Me" on it. Another great Korn song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Korn is a band that can be easily ruined by if you have someone that's a friend of yours that's way too obsessed with Korn.
Yeah.
Like, I had a.
That was me, by the way. But go ahead.
When I was like 16, I lived with my buddy Robbie, and his upstairs neighbor was just this stay-at-home dad that listened to Korn all fucking day long.
Oh
and he
my
had like a
God.
crazy sound system he used to tell us about, and we're like, we fucking know, dude.
We can hear it.
I hear fucking Freak on the Leash 7 times a day.
Oh my god. That's the mark of someone who doesn't know like Korn is when they just are like, yeah, we're gonna listen to Freak on the Leash for the 19th time, dude.
So I know when Korn started, they toured with like Metallica or something.
Yeah.
And everyone hated them.
Yeah, they toured with a bunch of punk bands until they took off, and then came the infamous Metallica tour.
Yeah, and then they blew up and became their own thing.
Yeah, of
But it's
course.
like,
Touring with
but it-
Metallica is known for bringing around people that are like, they blow up eventually, but when they bring them, people fucking hate them.
Yeah.
Like, they just did one this fucking last year, Metallica tour.
Yeah.
Everyone was so pissed off. Like, I would have enjoyed that concert because I like Greta Van Fleet, but so many people fucking hated them.
That is a weird band for them to bring. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, the Metallica tour.
I really, when I saw that, Metallica, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the band Ghost.
Of course.
But they, like, are pretty much the reason they're as big as they are today.
I can see their symbol in my head right now.
Well, think about the thing about Ghost too is, you know, really cool band. They switch singers for every album, isn't that it?
They switch characters.
Oh, they switch characters, yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's a different like Pope every album.
Yeah, but like the Ghost had like this groundswell, like they had like a fan base that was going to carry them basically as long as they wanted to make music.
Yeah.
But TikTok blew up the song "Mary on a Cross," which is just so not Ghost. Like, it is so not them. So people go into Ghost thinking that they're like a hokey fucking sing-along band, and then they think
and they're like a very satanic.
Yeah, and it's like a super rude awakening.
So I've been following Ghost for a while, and like I won't touch on Ghost too much, but Ghost started out as like a doom metal band, almost like Sabbath, but like every song is just about Satan. Like, one of the choruses to one of the songs is 666.
Yeah,
like, it's just so...
They're freaks, dude. They're so awesome.
But they took the Kiss angle, where they started very, like just, like, very raw and, like, almost, like, evil, and then went the more pop direction. And then we got Mary on a Cross out of that, at, like, the peak of that. And now they're kind of going a little more back into, like, a... they're doing like almost like hair metal stuff and like just like old metal stuff.
They're super adventurous, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. So TikTok blew up that one song, and Ghost is a very interesting discography where, like, again, it starts with doom metal and then ends with, you know, like pop.
Yeah.
So crazy, but yeah, it's crazy. Metallica did, like, you know, they were one, Greta Van Fleet, as you said, and like a bunch of weird bands. Pretty crazy. I believe Korn was like one of the bands that Metallica helped out.
Yeah.
I remember.
If not, it was someone else. Because I know there's this tour where Korn opened, and I met a guy who like saw it. He's like, yeah, this band Korn opened, and we're all like, this sucks. And then, you know, I think they put out their first album. He's like a week later and like blew up.
Their first album rocks, man. They you know what's
a self-titled, right?
Yeah, one of 3 self-titled albums. They Korn's one of those bands too. Like they keep putting out albums. Like, Korn has not stopped putting out music. I'm not a fan of anything past 2009. I'm not saying that like people shouldn't like it or that it's bad. It's just simply not for me. They really went more towards like creep metal, you know, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird stuff. But a lot of these new metal bands are like reformed. Like System of a Down is doing festivals, which obviously means an album's on the way.
Yeah, Pantera's back.
Don't
full band.
You don't listen. We have to get out of here eventually, so we're not going to talk about that.
You know they're opening for Metallica.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, it's fitting because they had that shit with Megadeth back in the day.
Yeah,
so it's only fitting that they're on the enemy team. But no, they're like, all these bands are coming back. Like Limp Bizket came out with an album. Like, new metal is on its way back, and I think it did start, like we said earlier, like the fashion of kids really getting back into Jinko jeans, frosted tips, rollerblading, what the fuck ever, you know.
And the fact that kids are making new metal again, like they think that it's not, but like. I mean, Knocked Loose is the best example where it's like, that is so new metal, but they think they're like hardcore punk-esque / thrash metal, but they're not.
I'm so glad you said that.
It's new metal.
And before we forget, Disturbed too.
Yeah.
Down with the Sickness
Disturbed
is like such a.
They went back and forth. It seemed, where like at first I don't think they were new metal. I think they wanted to be like Creed but heavier.
Yeah.
Where it's like. Elongated, like, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Indestructible to me, like, is a new metal album, even though, like, that it's very clear that they were trying to, like, shed that with, like, because he was trying to copy Jonathan Davis with the weird sounds he was making, especially with Down with the Sickness being the shining example of that. He didn't stop that, though, because people, like, when they listen to Disturbed, they tend to not make it past the huge hitters. Mm-hmm. So, like, but when you listen to that album, it's like, oh, wow, you really were going for, like, this thing. You know,
They check off all the boxes though, like the look, the cover of like Sound of Silence too.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like a what, you know, but like
the
but it
mascot,
works.
the band mascot being the hooded.
Whatever that is.
Even Kid Rock is going back to being new metal. Like I've heard a couple of his new songs. Like even that fucking one that's like all like Let's Go Brandon. He's like doing the Kid Rock like breakdowns where he like raps or whatever with his. There's no country aspect to like his new music. It seems, which I mean he did forever. But I think he learned his lesson when he just kept on getting like no money from any of his songs that were country because he just took the the bass lines or whatever from old country songs.
Well, I mean, every song past the country song Picture of You with Sheryl Crow, like the cover of that, was like, he had to learn his lesson after that because that was his last humongous song.
Which one is that?
The one where it's like the song he did with Sheryl Crow, the country one.
I put your picture away.
Oh, that. Thank you.
Yeah. You know what sucks is I couldn't think of that one line from the chorus. I couldn't even bring it up.
Can we recenter for the last 5 minutes?
Go ahead.
And we can have, I think we've gotten to like the height of new metal, talking about when Korn first hit the scene, blew the fuck up. I think it was like 1994.
It was, yeah.
And then like maybe 2 years later, I think $3 Bill Y'all by Limp Bizket came out.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. But
that was 98, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
I feel like that was early because then like they had fucking, I think, Significant Other or Chocolate Starfish was like their second album.
Yeah.
But so we've gotten to when new metal reached its most beautiful art form. Between like in like the mid to late 90s. And then after that, I feel like we could do a part 2 about the true downfall of new metal.
That'd be a great
Their
subject.
Pompeii was Woodstock 99.
Right.
That was
literally,
the explosion of the volcano.
Everything.
The most new metal event of all fucking time.
Which was also so awesome, though. That, like, Limp Bizkit with, like, the riot shit, surfing on, like, particle boards that people were ripping off the stage.
Exactly.
That's new metal, dude.
And the fact that they were booked by a bunch of fucking old heads that have never heard new metal in their life. And they're just like, oh, these are going to be good kids. They're about peace and love. What else is going to be the #1 song right now?
Right.
And they just book these dudes without doing any research.
And like Primus too.
Was
Primus?
God damn it! Is Primus new metal?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Kind of like,
well, hold on.
You could probably argue that
because the album that Lacquerhead was on, I can't remember what it was. It was like the mid 2000s.
It's
that
progressive metal.
half that album was produced by Fred Durst.
I think it's progressive metal.
Well, I want to say it's I would say it's like alternative metal. Progressive metal, because you're grouping it with
What
like
about Jerry the
Dream
Race Car
Theater
Driver?
and shit.
It's so fucking
Yeah,
weird.
like that's like
Right,
that's
the
very.
The only thing that would make them new metal is their excessive amount of bass and their weird voice, and that's it.
The rapping though?
Do they rap?
Yeah. Les Claypool rap.
Yeah, there's a in the way he writes lyrics, like there's a flow and things do rhyme.
There's a clear
There's
balance.
also like you could say like certain
it's not
albums
like
are like
traditional
country
rap.
metal. Like I'm not gonna say it, but like you know that song with Johnny was like an N-word boy or whatever the fuck.
What? What are you talking?
Redacted.
There's a Limp Bizket song or not Limp, fucking Les Claypool song. It's not Primus. It's like a Les Claypool side band, but. It's like the whole chorus is like Johnny was an N-word and he like did all this
really
stuff.
That's
but it's all like country-esque, which
that's Les Claypool. Well, that's
Les Claypool being
Les
weird
Claypool
for the sake of being weird.
In terms of like Pork Soda,
yeah.
You know
the Brown album.
My Name Is Mud.
The Brown album, the one that My Name Is Mud is on. That's
I guess
Sailing to Sea of Cheese
is new metal. My Name Is Mud.
They're almost like their own thing. I can't think of another band that's
like Primus
in any
yeah.
way. Where like
Any
Korn,
other West Claypool
Slipknot,
band.
they all kind of fit.
Yeah, whenever you go on Apple Music or Spotify and you look at the related artist section for Primus, it's just Les Claypool side projects.
Yeah.
And then they like throw like Ween in.
Yeah.
You know,
This is
like,
weird,
Ween
too.
fans are gonna like Primus, which is true because Primus and Ween are like two of my favorite bands.
I feel like Primus does like fit very well in new metal though.
It does.
They could tour with new metal bands and they fit right in.
Yeah.
It would
People
fit
slam
in.
to that, dude.
People
But
probably
like,
know them
so
too.
can hardcore punk bands.
Yeah, like I saw Primus open for Slayer a few years back.
Some
and
Slayer
it was,
songs are new metal.
And it like what? Like like Angel of Death.
Some. Come on, I was listening to one that was on a new metal.
Are you serious?
No, yeah, and it was new. It was new metal.
Like what?
Brandon,
I'm gonna need some
gonna-
examples.
Your face when you said that was amazing.
Hold on. If I close out voice memos, this shit isn't gonna stop, right?
Nah.
Cool. I'm going through this playlist and I'm gonna tell you which fucking Slayer songs new metal.
Because you can't be saying like, nah, I don't think Primus is new metal, but Slayer though.
Straight lines,
Slayer's
everywhere we
more.
draw.
Slayer's definitely more new metal than Primus.
No, I think, well, like, I like to think of new metal like this, right? Think of Family Values Tour, the Korn Tour, where they brought all those crazy bands, Rammstein, bands that obviously were new metal.
Yeah.
Would a band fit in that lineup? And would people enjoy seeing it at Family Values? I think that could be one of, if not the best descriptor of like what new metal is.
At least for a litmus test of whether it's adjacent, like whether
Yeah,
it's
even or something that's adjacent to it.
Hold on, did we talk about how bad Evanescence is?
Well, that's gotta
No, that's part two. That's part two.
I think we should start
That's
part
part
two.
two.
We
Yeah,
gotta,
yeah.
like,
State of Mind is a new
Is
metal
that
song.
off? Is that off? There's
Can I
that
play it, or are
album
you
with
afraid
the
you
with the
just
guy.
use it?
Yeah, it'll probably get taken down or whatever. Is that the cover with the guy on it?
Yeah, it's like a guy with a white.
Yeah. Okay.
mask with
Yeah.
a
So
cross.
Slayer, they had this one album where they're like, let's be like
I feel so
experimental.
fucking, like avenged. I just
Yeah.
saved myself so
Well,
hard for all the Slayer needs.
dude. Because I was about to say, but yeah, I haven't like listened to like that album fully, but that's like their experimental album where they're just like trying stuff out.
Yeah.
And I totally believe
Who the fuck
you.
is this? And I was like, Slayer. And I was like, Slayer's not new metal. But I was like, this song is new metal though. Same thing with the other day. My buddy came to me, Josh,
Yeah.
from the Beautiful Boycast stream on Spotify. He came to me with an Avenged Sevenfold song the other day and was like, "Is this new metal?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, it's Avenged Sevenfold." And I was like, "But I don't know. I don't know anymore." 'Cause it's just like
it is weird. The whole genre itself is just such a mess.
the Woodstock '99 was the epitome of the explosion, and I think after that, that's when you got to see like a lot of like people not necessarily copycatting new metal, but like taking things from it.
Yeah,
like,
little bits and pieces.
And that's when like it kind of stopped being that like centered mass of like Korn, Slipknot, Limp Bizket, and it kind of turned into a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
And then by like 2004, like 2005, like it was
Enter Taproot.
with a lot of new metal bands too. Like, I mean, I guess you can say they all like kind of fell off at the same time, but like a lot of those bands must have just like. I mean, a lot of them started as new metal bands, like that's all they knew, and then they progressed in music and then fell out of new metal. But it wasn't because they didn't want to be a new metal band; it was that they like just had other shit to make, and they weren't 20 anymore, and they're not super pissed off.
Right.
Yeah,
They stopped doing like perks and fucking Adderall.
There is a what's the word? There is like an originality you need. There is like you need to be that type of person in order to make the good new metal. You know.
And also, if a lot of those bands kept making new metal, it just would have been the worst new metal music ever because they're just trying too hard at a certain point.
Yeah, right.
Like, you got to be a certain level just pissed off, and like you just happen to make that.
It's like Korn. Exactly.
I think it's also like an example of like a fan base growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like
But it's
again,
like
like
they didn't
Linkin
really
Park,
fucking-
the Linkin Park fans, like again, it's like middle schoolers or like people like who are like pissed at their mom.
They
or
didn't really
something.
fucking like grow
Got
up
their Game
though.
Boy taken away.
Like
Yeah,
a lot of those dudes just kind of reverted. They just went back to listening to like grunge shit. And they just listen to the
true.
radio, so it's like all grunge and Creed. And then like people that like needed more music after that, that's when pop punk came around, and they were like this is our generation's type of music.
Yeah,
where it's like Sum 41, Good Charlotte, all those fucking bands.
Yeah.
It didn't help how easy it was to just like trash new metal.
Well, yeah,
because
'cause
people were just trashing the genre. Plus, there were like a million new metal clones.
If you look at it like in like a
Like
music
Limp
purist
Bizkit,
way, it's like the
Deftones and
worst
whatnot.
genre.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, if you went to Berkeley,
If you're like a Tool fan,
Don't come at my dad like that. Dad loves Tool.
I don't know. No, like I
like
love
Tool too.
I love Tool, and I also love new metal. I mean, I think they're obviously polar opposites. I mean, I'm sure Limp Bizket doesn't have their calculator and calculus textbook open when making their fucking music the way Tool does, but
yeah.
You know.
But hey, we'll save the topic of the fall of new metal.
I got one more question.
Yeah.
We can have some
Is
closing
Godsmack new metal?
No.
A clone.
There's so many Godsmack songs on new metal playlists. Though.
I do not think
that was made by somebody after the fucking Pompeii.
Yeah.
Pompeii.
Godsmack is heavy butt rock.
I don't think
it's punk butt rock is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and this is my closing remark on it. New metal, it was like a bridge. It was the bridge between grunge and hair metal, and it got all the way over the 90s, and it's what then got us into like more pop.
It got us over the turn of the millennium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like the fucking Woodstock 99, where we should retell that story next episode, that was being at the middle of the bridge, looking down, being like, someday this is all going to end.
Next episode definitively starts at Woodstock.
Yeah.
And my final statement will be that new metal does suck, but it's better than fucking Pearl Jam, and it's better than fucking Fall Out Boy, and that's that.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Hell yeah.
Cheers to that.
All right. Do you guys want to plug anything?
BBC for the third time, listen to the Beautiful
BBC,
Boycast. And hit me up to tattoo, Ink by Ferb on Instagram. Beautiful Boycast. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Everybody follow a regular program on YouTube. We make sketch comedy. I'm 1/3 of that with a couple of other funny guys. Be sure to check that out.
Follow me on Instagram at disguy3ys. Find everything there. It's all
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining me. We'll definitely do this again for the fall of new metal.
Definitely. I'll bring a fucking mixer next time.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm Brandon Battick, and this has been Disturbing the Priest.
Yeah.
All right.